Hey Pia. Hey. Um, I think it's taking a little bit of time. Hey there. Hey. Hey there. How are
Hi,
you, Somo?
me?
Hey Anna. Yes, now I can. I was giving the internet a little time to adjust to us, to our energy, so it's good. Great. So, hey everybody. Today I am introducing to you a beautiful human being. So, what I love about her is her authenticity and that she practices what she preaches. She had been on her inner journey for a long, long time, I think since 21 years now. She's a published author now, and her book, She Rises for Tomorrow, tells a deep tale of her inner journey and transformation. She's an amazing human being, and today I am introducing to you Pia Prana, and who better to tell us about her? Pia, can you let us in? Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. And I have to say, I was telling you earlier that it's quite exciting for me to be on my very first Instagram live. So I'm
Yeah, with me,
yes,
right?
and technology, certain things I'm not great with. So this is super exciting. And that it's actually working and we've got people here is
Yeah,
wonderful. So
great.
thank you.
Hey there.
So to introduce myself, yeah, you're right. I've been now. It actually
You're
started
losing
with
you, Priya.
you're losing me.
Uh, yeah, now it's good. Now it's
Okay,
good again.
I've been on this inner journey for around 21 years now.
Let's say a quick prayer to okay, Nikhil. So we are gonna try again. So bear with me. There is some internet glitch and it can be worked out. This is good. This is good. Let's see. Are we back? Uh, I was just adjusting something. Yes, we are back.
Okay, great. So can I continue? Great, because suddenly I was seeing
Yes.
myself talk, and
Yeah.
yeah. So
Oh,
thanks again for having me. I'm thrilled to have this conversation with you, and you and I have spoken a lot in the last few days, and
yeah.
we've really had a very juicy and deep and powerful conversation. So I'm really happy to continue that here. And yes, I started my personal journey around 21 years ago, and it actually started with I didn't call it a depression at the time, but now in retrospect, it was pretty much what was going on for me. And at the time, I was so full of shame, out, and I couldn't really speak to anybody about it. So for a whole year, all I was kind of crying on my own and really in a deep, dark place. And then slowly, the journey started with I got introduced to a couple of things. I got introduced to this beautiful Indian meditation center. I was actually in London at the Dharma Kumaris, and they do positive thinking
Mm,
courses for free. And
mm,
and I went there. I thought, well, I need to start somewhere, and I really had no idea what to do. I just knew that I was in a lot of pain, and that was the first step. And then I started meditating, and finally started getting some support. Once I'd been reading some self help books, and that was helpful. But it was really when I started getting individual help that my life just kind of took off in a whole new way. And not long after that, I trained as a coach, because I was so touched and moved by the work that I was doing with. I had a coach and I also had a counselor at some point, and I was so touched by what was possible for me in that space, that this is what I want to do with my life. So about 18 years ago, I trained as a coach, and what I have done since then is just, I've had such a hunger to keep going deeper, such a hunger to get a sense of who I am. Because one of the things I realized was I had no idea who I was. So that's really been the journey over the last 21 years, is really getting to the core of, well, who is Pia Prana?
Yeah.
Who am I at the core, and not what I was showing to the outside world, but who I was on the inside. So that's kind of a snippet of how this journey started. And one of the things I also wanted to share is that I find that certainly back then, not being okay, it wasn't something that you would say to people. People would look at you, you know, and so for me, it's so important to speak up about the importance of mental health, and for people to take care of themselves. And sometimes they need help from professionals, but that's really, really important to me. So I'm a bit of an advocate of
Right.
Of people going to get therapy, having a coach, having a counselor.
Right.
It's so important.
Right. True. The most important thing is that we keep on putting things in the back burner if it is related to us. We are like okay in everything, right? So you said you had this hunger. I mean, you are blessed. Not everyone is. There are very few amongst us who are blessed to understand and know themselves. Ooh, are you there? Yeah. So what I was trying to put in there is like, you are a strong one, you are a blessed one, but not everyone is. So what do you think should be the first step to seeking therapy? Because whenever we talk about therapy and going to a healer, it's like something, hey there, um, yeah, yeah, something is wrong with us, right? Something is wrong and we have to fix it. That is why we are going to therapy or going to a healer.
Mm-hmm.
But that's actually not the case. So I like I like you to touch on that subject so that we can help people who are here, who are listening.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, it's like if you have a car, you have to go and check it out every year to make sure, an MOT, so that make sure that everything is working well. And if you, even for many of us, certainly for myself, I go every year to have a body checkup, to check that everything is working well with my body. I go to the dentist a couple of times a year to make sure that, you know, just to keep everything, to make sure that, yeah, like I'm actually going to the dentist this week. It's my bi-yearly visit, right? Yet, when it comes to our emotional world, it's like, well, we just expect that everything should be okay, and that there's no need to delve into that arena, and especially if we're not feeling 100%. And the challenge is that our society these days, it really just, all we are offered is that we should be fine. We should put up on a brave face. We should put a smile on our face. And somehow it's a bit of a taboo to say that I don't feel so good. Or like you said, you know, I maybe I should go and see a therapist or a healer because there's something inside that isn't working for me. And so for me, like with all the other yearly things that you do, be it checking your car or two-wheeler, or if you're checking your teeth, your mental health is another important piece. And so another piece, the way I see it, is that not to also wait in my case, I waited till I was in a really dark place because I felt such shame about not being okay, because that's what society tells us, that you should be ashamed if you're not 100%. So really the part of my mission in life is to speak up, to say it's totally okay. We all, it's like with everything, there's phases in our life, and just like the phases of the moon, whatever, right? And so sometimes we feel good, and sometimes we might not feel so good, but not to let it go so long that you're like in this deep, dark place that I was, but actually start noticing what's going on for you. And even before you go to a professional, start thinking about, well, what relationships do I have? What kind of relationships am I developing in my life? And personally for myself, I have, over these 21 years, I have developed relationships, friendships with people that are interested in having a healthy inner world, that are interested to share and allow themselves to be seen also when they're not on top of the world. And as a result, it's like that is kind of like an ongoing self-care practice, I would say, to really start developing friendships with people that you can be honest with, that are not going to judge you. But of course, nobody can really replace the professional. And sometimes that is also the right step to take. But before it gets really bad, start just simply with developing people. And, you know, sometimes I see on Facebook, for example, people start culling their Facebook list because they realize there's some of the people they're not really close to. For me, it's about just getting really clear about who are the people, who are my tribe that I can be myself with. And that is a great step before you need any professional care, I would say.
And that's a big question, and it's a very big question. We keep getting swayed, and in here I put in that in our energy medicine world, it's the empaths who are the triggerers of people, you know, and definitely it's not from a very bad state or very bad being, or we think badly, not like that, but empaths have energy that can gauge people, their emotions, their thoughts and everything, and that really puts people in becoming defensive, you know. And most of the time in a family, we are the shunned ones. You know, when needed help, we are there, but when everything is good, you know, this person is not present, and that keeps giving rise to this good girl syndrome. And after I spoke to you so many times about this thing, and I really understood that, it took me my awakening to get out of that syndrome, to understand that syndrome, and to tell myself that it's okay to be me and be judged even by others, right? So your work spans and talks about that. You have worked a lot in your inner world, right? So I'd like to hear it from you.
Sure, absolutely. And I love the question because, of course, I'm very passionate about this piece around healing that part that's not whole. And in this particular case, it's this good girl syndrome. And one of the things for me is that I see myself as a work in progress. I don't see that I've come to some, oh, I'm at some final destination now, and now I sit back. No, I am constantly checking in with myself. I'm constantly learning, in fact, and I'm constantly allowing myself to be vulnerable with the people around me in order to keep learning about myself and inviting others in to do the same. And so with this particular, I do a lot of different things. I mean, I'm a coach, I'm a counselor, I'm a breathwork practitioner, and a few more things. And when it comes to this good girl syndrome, really something that comes from a term called codependency. And codependency is a term that we use. It actually comes from Alcoholics Anonymous. And Alcoholics Anonymous has been going on for a really long time, and they do really, really amazing work. And so inside of families that are, for whatever reasons, the parents are not healed, the parents have not been able to really come to find themselves on the inside. It could be that there's a dysfunction in the family. There's poor mental health. There's people stuck in almost like immaturity, and that's not a criticism. It's something that happens when we get stuck in the unhealed parts of ourselves. And so there's different roles that we might take our family in order to create equilibrium or balance inside of our families. And so children will pick up on what's going on with the parents, and although the parents are doing the best they can, they might pick up on where there is some dysfunction, where there's pain, where there's unhealed issues inside of the family, and we take on different roles. You call it an enabler, you can call it a pleaser. I call it the good girl. And of course, this is also happens for boys.